Welcome everyone to our Eagles Nest meeting. We have quite a few participants joining us at this time, so we will get started in just a few minutes. For those of you that are just now joining us, we are going to get started in just a few minutes. We want to give time for everyone to log into the webinar. So give us just a couple more minutes and we'll get started. All right, good evening, everyone, and welcome to the Wilders Preparatory Academy Charter School Eagles Nest Parent Meeting. I'm your principal, Ms. Robinson, and joining us tonight, we have our CEO, Ms. Ramona Wilder. We have our school counselor, Ms. Red. We have our parent liaison, Mrs. Shannon, and we also have our office manager. You've probably seen her name, but tonight we're going to put a face with a name, and that is Miss Venice. All right, so tonight we have a lot of topics to talk about tonight. So we plan on being here shortly under an hour, but we want to be able to cover everything. So tonight we're going to talk about some school-wide updates, share some parent information, our social emotional counseling support updates. We also most importantly, want to talk about the SBAC testing that's coming up. Ms. Tran's going to talk about that. I didn't even introduce Ms. Tran. I'm sorry, Ms. Tran. I didn't see you on my list here. Ms. Tran, our Systems and Assessment Coordinator. She is going to talk about our SBAC and CASP assessment. Ms. Shannon's going to talk about the fundraising and support, end of school year activities. And I know our kindergarten, 5th and 8th grade parents want to hear more about end of the year updates. All right, so let's go ahead and dive in. We have continued with our weekly COVID testing. When we came back from the winter break, we were doing twice a week when the numbers are very high, but we haven't had any positive COVID cases in about 7 or 8 weeks now. So we're, having a good run so far, but we will continue with Monday testing through the end of June. I know that the city or the county has lifted the mask mandates, but we're going to continue with mask mandates in school. So indoors and outdoors, staff and students are still required to wear their mask. We have limited our social distancing policy because our numbers are so low. So in the classrooms, the students have, the teachers, have redesigned their classroom where there's more group and collaborative learning. So now they're in student groups and not so far apart. And, before that, we had already taken off the plexiglass, based on our recommendation from the public health department. So that's been working out very well. We are still a closed campus, so we're not allowing visitors on campus just yet. So we are still a closed campus, and we're currently not requiring proof of vaccinations for students through the end of this school year. We are working on a policy for next school year, so we'll have some updates on that pretty soon. And then we're also moving forward with cleaning and sanitizing daily, and that's contributes to our 0 positive cases. So we do have a cleaning crew that continues to clean and sanitize throughout the day as well. And then tomorrow we have some COVID test kits that we're going to send home with the students. So as they're leaving out the gate tomorrow, they'll have a box with them. In the testing kit, there are 2 COVID tests. So we'd like for you to, take the test or give your child the test over the spring break. Probably that Friday would be a good day. I believe that's April 15th. Just to get an idea, I know people take vacations, they do different things over spring break. And then we will still have testing on Monday when they return on the 18th. But just to be sure, we're going to provide some home test kits for you to use. And then also we are continuing to recognize our students and their success. We have our 4th progress report coming out after spring break on April 22nd. And then that will be our final progress report for the year. The final report card will come out in June. So when you get the next progress report, remember, check your students' Google Classroom, check Aries, meet with the classroom teacher if needed, make sure they're meeting grade level standards. We've had several parent meetings about students who, are not meeting standards or had some trouble learning during the pandemic. And so in light of that, we've been meeting, trying to create plans for some of those students. So, be proactive and meet with your child's teacher. And if you don't have any questions, they'd be able to answer them. We're also planning an academic boot camp, and many of our older parents know, that right before testing, we have, what we call an academic boot camp. And what that is we do, drills and lesson reviews. We go over standards. Students are able to cover, or teachers are able to cover lessons that students hadn't received yet. So during this 2-week period after spring break, they'll get some mini lessons in class. And then we'll also have some fun activities for them to do in the afternoon. In case you were wondering, Monday is the beginning of spring break. So the students will be off for a week, Monday through Friday, the 11th through the 15th. They will return to school on Monday, April 18th. And as I stated before, we'll go back and do our COVID testing, restarting again on the 18th. And also during the spring break, we'll also send out a spring parent survey. So we did a fall survey. And we'll do a spring survey. And I don't know if you guys remember when we talked about the ESSER 3, or we talked about the LCAP, and that's a local control accountability plan that helps us, bring resources to our school or provide things that students need, facilities, those kinds of things. So we want to get your feedback on how things are going this year, and then areas, we can improve in. And then also, if anybody has any questions or needs to call the front office during spring break, the hours are 8 a.m. to 3 p.m. All right, and so Miss Fenice is up next, and she's going to talk about our parent information.
All righty, so I have the fun task of going over some information for you guys. There is some new or updated information. So if you don't get all of it, we will be following up in Class Dojo with the specifics. Some of it you may have seen already. So don't worry about taking your notepads out and jotting everything down. And the meeting is recorded, so you can always go back and listen to it over and over again. So we'll start with drop off and pickup. So some of you may have noticed there have been some transitions in drop off and pickup. For drop off specifically, we for drop-off specifically, in the mornings, you may have noticed some lines of students, and those are our tardy lines. So what we have begun to enforce is our tardy policy. And so students arriving after 7:58 at the gate are stopped and they're made to sign in the tardy log, and then they're sent to class. The reason is we have noticed that when the student arrives in the gate at 7:59, the parent thinks that the student is not tardy, but once they arrive to class, because they were not in their seat by 8 o'clock, that they're marked tardy by the teacher. And so we wanted to get everyone on the same page. And so tardies in the morning, those are the lines that you are seeing. So we are asking that in the morning, we're being safe, that we're making turns at the right places, that we're making sure that we're being conscious of students crossing the streets and staff assisting them with doing that, and that we're getting to our students to school on time. With that being said, pickup also from the office perspective has changed a little bit. So what we tend to get in the last 15 to 20 minutes of school is parents calling to get their students out of class early. Unfortunately, at that time, most teachers are handing out or going over homework, they're wrapping up students. And so it's a very difficult time for us to pull students unless it is an absolute emergency. And so what we are asking parents to do is to contact us if you want to pick your student up early, that you do it before the 30 minutes, and really picking them up early. They're going to miss something at the end of the day. So waiting until school is out, but if it is an emergency, that you give us enough time to be able to locate the student. Sometimes the teacher is not by the phone. And by the time we get to them, honestly, you were better off just waiting for them outside, just because of the kind of madness that happens at the end of the day with everyone wrapping up their classroom. So please just be mindful when you're dropping off and picking up. Attendance. So that kind of leads right into attendance. Some of you may have noticed that we have started to reach out to parents regarding attendance. And so attendance policies, I know over the last couple of years have kind of been fluctuating because of COVID, and the rules have changed, and we totally appreciate you guys being so flexible and being so engaged with your students' learning. But we are back in in-person instruction. And so the expectation is that students are coming to school. We share our victories in COVID numbers and testing with you so that you know that we're a safe place for your child to come and learn. And so that you know that we have their safety at the forefront of our minds when we're creating policy and what's going on in the classrooms and at school. So students are required to be in person. In a situation where a student is not feeling well, or a student may have been exposed to COVID, or a student may be experiencing symptoms, and then there's just regular, my child has a stomach virus, please communicate with us. You can email attendance@wpacs.org, all of your attendance notes. Communicate with your teachers. Your teachers communicate with us as well if you reach out to them, but please let us know. Let us know what's going on. Let us be a help to you. Let us make sure that they're not missing out on very valuable learning time, but as well, instructional time is important too. So if it's a vacation you can wait to plan, or something that I know we're kind of used to working from home and just taking our kids and their Chromebooks wherever we got to go. But at Wilder's Preparatory Academy, the policy and the expectation right now is that students have returned to in-person learning 100%. We no longer have virtual learning. That's not something that is being identified by us as an option for alternative learning. If there is a question about independent study, please ask questions, please inquire about it. Ms. Red is your contact for that. Some of you will start to see my emails and names coming up as well. Last thing about attendance is you will start to get attendance notices. So coming back from spring break, we will start our all calls again, where you will receive notice if your child was tardy or absent for the day. Aries Parent Portal, open enrollment, and student registration honestly all kind of go together. They're all Aries driven. So open enrollment, I'm going to bounce to the second one just really quickly. Open enrollment is happening. And one thing at Wilder's that we've learned is that people enroll because they know someone who attended there. So spread the word, let your friends know, let your families know that, you know, open enrollment is happening right now. We're gearing up for our lottery. So please spread the word. With that being said, we also are transitioning to making sure that our students who are returning also process. So what that means is you've already received the intent to return. If you have not turned that in, please complete that. Next, you will receive student online registration. So next year, we will be transitioning to full-on Aries integration with parent communication. And so right now I am working on activating everyone's parent portal. If you do not have access yet or have not accessed it yet, in the next week or so, you should get an email saying that we've turned it on and you have access now. If you have access and you're just not sure what to do or where to go or what the next steps are, email us at office@wpacs.org and we can answer your questions and guide you through that. So we are so excited to, you know, kind of get back to what a normal might be. And we're looking towards some great updates as well moving into next school year, but we want to finish this one out strong. So please communicate with us. We have started to post some things on the Class Dojo from the office, Ms. Donna is posting our weekly kind of bulletin. And so if you have questions, drop them in there, email us, we'll get back to you and make sure that you are heard as well as informed about what's going on. So thank you.
All right, thank you. Next, our school counselor, Ms. Red.
Hello, everyone. Good evening. We've had some really good opportunities this year to work with our students. We have created what is called the Wilders Wellness Program. And so we have done targeted interventions. And what our goal was this year was to build a foundation of resiliency, create motivation because of what they've gone through the pandemic, and confidence in all of our students from kinder through 5th grade. So our upper school, 6th through 8th, have received counseling and coping skills and strategies to manage their stress, and helping them with preventative approaches to dealing with the challenges that everyday life has brought, and helping them create helpful and healthy and positive ways to deal with these life challenges. We have done, or we're doing and done weekly workshops with our middle school students to provide extra support, especially around the disciplinary actions. So we have done workshops for 6th through 8th grade to discuss topics such as anti-bullying, social media, cell phone usage, self-esteem, positive peer relationships, and communication, and how to cope with different strategies on coping with school, their peers, and then understanding the Wilders Way and as a community and as a school community code of conduct. We have also provided small group one-on-one mediation for any student that may have any kind of concerns, any kind of friendship, disagreements, or just to talk. We have done restorative circles, parent support, and psychosocial education for parents and students, and parents, students, and teachers. And we've created positive behavioral support for students and their families that have been impacted by COVID. Some of the other mental health support that we have been able to provide is through our Joshua initiative, which is our free counseling services that has been provided through the school. And we provide, or Joshua initiative provides individual and group counseling support, as well as teacher and parent support. Care Solace is something that we also use as a mental health referral program. So some of you may have received calls from Care Solace, and this particular program helps families with the entire process of finding a counselor. Is either through your mental health, either through your insurance, Medicare, or any kind of free resources that are available. This particular resource has been able to coordinate with the therapist of your choice and set the appointment. And all you have to do is just tell that individual that's helping you with this particular process what you need and show up for the first visit. We've also been able to help with our homeless population and anyone that has been severely impacted by COVID. And if parents need any additional support, we as a team and Wilders family, we know that there's a lot going on with families. We have been really trying to find additional resources to make sure that your student is being, able to have a comfortable journey here at their coming back from such an experience of being at home. So we've been trying everything in our power to give them what they need to be successful on our campus. So if you have any questions or concerns, please let Mrs. Robinson and I know. We will definitely make sure that we address any of these issues that may arise. But this has been a really good year. I've had a really great time working with your families, and we hope to continue being able to provide the great social emotional support that we have started this year. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Red. All right, and next up, we have our Assessment and Systems Coordinator, Ms. Tran.
Good evening, family. So tonight I'd like to share with you a few of the ways that we measure how our students here at Wilders Prep are learning and what we do with that information. I will talk about very important state testing that will occur close to the end of the school year. I'll also talk to you about important ways that you can work in partnership with your child's teacher to help your child succeed. So let's get started. At the end of each school year, students in grades 3 and higher take a statewide assessment, also known as the summative assessments. They are called summative because they test the sum of what your child learned during the school year. This is a state assessment requirement. The umbrella term we use to talk about the summative assessment our students take is called the CAS, which stands for the California Assessment of Student Performance and Progress. The CAS systems has 3 main parts: science assessment, English language arts literacy or ELA, and mathematics assessment, and the Spanish reading language arts assessment, which is an optional assessment. Today, we will just focus on the assessments of ELA, math, and science, because most of our students will take those assessments. First, let's talk a moment about the Smarter Balance assessment in English language arts and math. Why are these tests called the Smarter Balance tests? Or maybe you've heard them referred to as the SBAT. These tests were developed by educators in multiple states, and the name of that group is the Smarter Balance Assessment Consortium. As you saw in the umbrella graphic on the previous slide, they are part of the CAS system. These tests are designed to measure or check what students know and can do. In other words, the knowledge and skills they gain during the school year. The California Science Assessment, also known as the CAST, C-A-S-T, was designed to test the students' ability to think critically and solve problems, which are important skills for all students to have. The CAST focuses on questions that cover more than one scientific area at a time, such as life science, earth and space science, and physical science. You may be wondering why students need to take the CAS test. The test results are an important piece of information about how your child is doing in school. Together with report cards, classroom work, homework, and other means of assessments, these test results tell us if your child is on track to succeed in higher grades and is ready for college and career. Most importantly, the CAS system gives information to teachers, students, and their families about what students know and are able to do. This information can also be used by administrators to evaluate and improve education programs. As a parent or guardian, you can use these test results and other information to know if your child is on track or perhaps needs support in certain areas of English, language arts, math, or science. For students in grades 11, there's another reason. Oh, can you go back?
Sorry.
Thank you. For students in grades 11, there's another reason these tests are important. The results of statewide assessments for ELA and math are also used by some colleges in California to decide how ready students are for college level classes. When your child takes the CAS test in grade 11, you'll be able to see information about their readiness for college level classes on their student score report. which we will talk about in more details in a few minutes. You might be wondering at this point, which of these tests your child would take. Well, let's talk about that. All students in grades 3 through 8 and grades 11 take the Smarter Balance Summative Assessment in ELA and math. In other words, if your child is in grades 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, or 11, they would take these tests at the end of the school year. The only exception to this are students who take the California alternate assessments based on their unique needs. As far as the California Science Test, or CAST, all students in grades 5 and 8 take it at the end of the school year, and they take it once in high school. They will also take this test in high school when they take their last science test. Now that we know what these tests are, why do students take them and which grades, let's spend a few minutes on what the test looks like. So the CAST assessments are all taken on a computer. The Smarter Balance Summative Assessments in ELA and math are computer adaptive. That means that students take the test on a computer, and the computer gives students questions that are easier, the same, or more difficult based on their answers to the previous questions. As students answer questions correctly, they receive more challenging questions. Incorrect answers trigger easier questions. This helps keep the tests short for many students and makes sure the scores are very accurate, especially for students who score very low or very high. The assessments use multiple ways of asking questions to allow students to show what they know and what they can do. The CAFS is taken on a computer, but is not computer adaptive. This is the science test. These online tests give students many different types of questions. For some of the math questions, for example, your child might be asked to drag and drop things from one place on the screen to another, or draw a graph to solve a problem. Now let's talk about the timing of the CAST in ELA and math. We mentioned before that these tests are taken by students at the end of the school year. What does that mean exactly? Students take the summative assessments during what is called the testing window. Each school selects its own testing window in the spring of each school year. The testing can begin as early as January and continue through the last day of school. More specifically for our school, we will begin testing after spring break. For students in grades 7 and 8, students would test between April 25th and May 31st. In grades 3 to 6, students will test between May 2nd through May 27th. This will give an ample time for students to complete their tests and time for any makeup testing. Starting on Tuesday, April 19th, WPACS will be starting our school laptop campaign for testing. If your child borrowed a school Lenovo laptop to use at home in grades 4 through 8, we are asking those students to bring their Lenovo laptop devices fully charged every day starting on April 19th. The device will be needed to supplement the missing laptops we have on campus that has the secure test browser. Their classroom laptop does not support the secure test browser anymore, which is why we need those laptops brought back every day for testing. We would like these grade levels to get into the habit of bringing their devices every day starting on April 19th. This doesn't mean they are testing April 19th. It just means that we want them to get into the habit of bringing their laptops every day. So we can check if it is fully charged and if there are any damages on the devices. Their school device will need to be brought to school every day and brought back home if they need it for homework during the testing window. Students do not need to bring their charger, as we expect the laptops to be fully charged when brought in daily. And if it is not fully charged, we will have a few charging stations for those uncharged laptops. If families did not check out a school device to use at home, we do have some testing laptops on campus for those students. Students who take the CAST test will receive scores in the late summer or early fall. The score reports will be mailed home to your listed address in Aries. You could also access your child's score from the Aries parent portal after results become available. When you receive your child's student score report, take a moment to review it with your child and understand what it shows. On the front of the report, you will see your child's test scores for ELA, the top half of the page, and math is the bottom half of the page. It will show your child's score as well as one of the 4 achievement levels: standards not met or level 1, standards nearly met or level 2, standards met or level 3, or a standards exceeded or a level 4. When you're reviewing this information, remember that the goal for your child is to meet or exceed the standards, which means a level 3 or better. You will also see information about how your child's score from this year's test compares to last year's test if they took this test last year. And finally, information about the 4 areas of the ELA and 3 areas of math knowledge your child was tested on and how they did. This year, your child will receive a separate report of their reading and math abilities called the Lexile and Quantile Measure Report. These new measures, Lexile and Quantile measures, are not the result of additional tests, but rather a byproduct of your child's score on the Smarter Balance Assessment in English, language arts, and math. A Lexile measure indicates the difficulty of the materials your child can read and understand. And the Quantile measure shows what math skills your child has mastered and which skills they need additional instruction in. Other reports you might receive for your child are the CAS or the Science Student Score Report if your child is in grades 5 or 8. Now I will talk about how your child has been preparing for the CAS assessment in the classroom this year. Between 6 to 8 times out of the school year, after the teacher has covered a set of standards, students are given an IAB test. This assessment mirrors the CAS assessment, but it covers only a portion of the grade level standards each time. This gives students enough time to practice with the type of questions they will see on the CAS assessment. The IAB tests are also very important for the teachers to use in examining the data they need so they can reteach any standard skills or specific testing misconception a child may have. We have covered a lot of information about the test and your child would take, but we haven't talked about the most important thing yet, which is how you can help your child succeed. First and foremost, talk to your child about what they are learning. Make sure you review his or her homework to see what they are learning and to help them the best you can. Your child's teacher is your #1 resource. The best time to contact your child's teacher is either before or after school. Contacting your child's teacher by Class Dojo or email. When you talk to your child's teacher, ask them specific questions about your child, such as, in what areas is my child doing well? In what areas might my child need some extra support? Who will provide that extra support? How can I help my child at home? These are just a few example questions, how you can start a conversation with your child's teacher. Additionally, here are a few other ways you can help your child be successful. When it's time for testing, talk to your child about the test. Make sure the child knows that the tests are important, but they are just one measure of learning. The teacher uses that information along with other information to make sure your child is getting the support they need. Make sure your child knows that you and their teacher have high expectation and that you are both there to help them every step of the way. If you're interested, the CDE or the California Department of Education has developed practice and training tests that you can access from home on the computer. You can look at sample test questions and get familiar with the ways the questions are presented on the computer. A link to more information about the practice and training tests will be available on this slide deck and the parent testing notification letter that was sent home yesterday. Additionally, make sure that your child is well rested and have a good nutritious breakfast before testing, so they are set up for success on the day of the testing. It is very important that your child is present at school physically and mentally during the testing window. So the California Department of Education has created a website for families who want additional information about student score reports. It's called ca.startingsmarter.org. This website has sample student score reports as well as resources for parents or families to use. Those resources include a link to the Learning Heroes website and links to the practice and training tests. Among these valuable resources, you will also find a document created in collaboration with the Parent Teacher Association that gives parents additional guidance on what questions to ask teachers in order to create the most supportive environment for your children. Currently available on this website are the ELA Math, Science, and Spanish web pages. Here are some additional resources for you to learn more about the summative assessment and support your student success. The California Department of Education has developed a series called The Parent's Guide to Understanding. These are designed to be simple overview that answer the critical questions of what, why, who, how, and when about each assessment. You can find these on the website listed on the slide. There are also practice tests available that will help you and your child understand the type of test questions that they might receive. You can take the practice test from home with your child. And finally, you can visit, again, the Starting Smarter website listed on the slide to learn more about your child's score and see sample test questions. Next slide. Here are other noteworthy assessments that have been underway. We just completed the summative LPAC assessment for English learners. We just started the physical fitness test last week for grades 5 and 7, and we're wrapping it up this week before spring break so we could focus more on the academic assessments. We have the NWEA MAP assessment that has been a school benchmark assessment in reading and math for grades K to 2. Their last benchmark will occur during the last 2 weeks of May. We also are collecting school data from our Reading DIBELS assessment in grades K to 5. This is completed one-on-one with our supporting instructional staff. The last DIBELS assessment will occur during the month of May. Then we have the teacher-created end of the year assessments. This is normally something middle school teachers give for a grade in their last report card. That brings us to the end of my presentation. Thank you for your time this evening and for attending the Eagles Nest meeting. I'm going to turn it back over to Mrs. Robinson.
All right, thank you, Ms. Tran. And just a recap before we let Ms. Shannon join us. So far we've talked about the COVID testing kits that will be going home tomorrow. So remember to use those over spring break. The other thing that Ms. Finney's talked about was attendance. And this meeting is recorded, so you can always go back once it's uploaded to our YouTube channel. You can always go back and look at more information, but the importance of attendance and being on time at 7:58, so they're not counted tardy when they get into the classroom. They have to be in their seats at 8 o'clock. Also, the counseling support. If you need additional counseling support, you can email myself or Ms. Red to get more information about Care Solace and Joshua Initiative for those free counseling services. Ms. Tran talked about the Lenovo computers. Remember that those computers are have the capability to put the web browser on the computer. So the students will start bringing those into the school starting April 19th. So they'll bring those back and forth to school. So we want to make sure that they get into the habit of bringing their school computer back and forth. And then in April 25th, the middle school students will start their assessments. And May 2nd, I believe, the elementary will start their assessments as well. And then we can get a testing calendar out for that. And also the assessment letter that was sent out. So make sure you have that. And we'll turn it over to Mrs. Shannon for our fundraising and end of the year information.
Good evening, everyone. I got a lot of stuff to say. So thank goodness this is recorded. So you can go back, and by all means, if you have any questions, you can always email me to ask me whatever questions that you have on your mind. So I'm going to go with this slide, Ms. Robinson. This is a great slide, so I'm going to go starting with this slide. Parents, thank you for your support for our green lemonade. We did very, very well with the green lemonade. The crazy part, we sold 50 gallons of green lemonade. 50 gallons of green lemonade. I had plenty of 7th and 8th graders helping me, and we did a great job. Everyone loved it. And with that green lemonade and that money from that green lemonade that gave us that green money, I was able to buy plenty of awards for our students. So that was very successful. We then moved on, right after that green lemonade, we moved right on to our first fundraiser in 2 years. So I do have to take off my hat, even though I don't have on a hat, to Ms. Ramona for finally letting us do a fundraiser. Our students did very, very well. I'm very proud of all of them that helped us support this this fundraising for the popcorn. And I'm proud of the students, but parents, I'm proud of you because you guys were the ones out there, you know, hustling to sell this popcorn. We did very good. As far as how well we did, we were top #1 in our entire district, in the Inglewood district. And we had some great sellers. So our number one, top #1, and I would have never thought it was an 8th grader. An 8th grader sold over $1,200 worth of popcorn. That is phenomenal. So Bryce Galladay, thank you very much, sir, for giving all those efforts and selling all of that popcorn. Right behind Bryce was a little kinder, Carter Santiago, 1158. So those two did extremely well. And I'm not quite sure of the prizes of what they're getting from the actual fundraising company themselves, but from me, they're getting popsicles. Their class getting popsicles. So the classrooms that had the highest in each grade get popsicles from Mrs. Shanna. So I'm giving popsicles to everybody. Fundraising items are coming in tomorrow. Parents, please, when you come and pick up, and if your child sold fundraising items, those will come to your car. So we do have the company coming, and they are going to bring those items out to your car so you don't have to get out, but they are coming, and we really need everyone to pick up those items. If those items are not picked up, or if your child doesn't come to school, those items are going back with the fundraising company, and they'll have to come back. And we haven't scheduled a day for that to come back, especially since we're off for spring break. So you know, please try hard to pick up your items. Those of you that are kinder, the items are going to be at kinder. I know years back we had them all come to the big school because we have more room, but we are definitely going to have all those items at kinder, and you can pick up your items there. So thank you. Our next fundraiser is candy apples, and I hope I don't eat too many because they are my favorite. But these candy apples are delicious. And forms are going to be coming home tomorrow to sell these candy apples. They're going to be $3. These are the apples, and if you see on the picture, they're the apples with the crunch stuff on them. There are no nuts on these apples, and no nuts will be on these apples. So I'm not selling any with nuts, if those are some of the questions that we have. But they will be $3. We're going to sell the apples for 2 weeks. So that money, of course, is going to help us again with some of the things that are going on with school. So that's our fundraising things. I got some other topics I want to talk about. So this year we really implemented the Eagle of the Month, which is like a student of the month. And we with all of those fundraising things, the students are chosen. So one student in each classroom is chosen along with a special recognition to a student. So they are receiving medals and they are receiving ribbons. And I'm sure some of you have had a child that has received one of those. And so it is to the point where now they're asking me, Mrs. Shannon, when is the Eagle of the Month? So It's a great honor. And those fundraisers are helping me buy those medals and those ribbons for those students. So I absolutely love it. We're going to be doing our Eagle of the Month and the special recognition tomorrow. So one of your students are going to be coming home with something, hopefully. Kenny. Okay, so thank you again for those t-shirts, Ms. Robinson. So 8th grade just received their, quiet Pepper. 8th grade just received their 8th grade class t-shirt and hoodie. They came out beautiful. I absolutely love them. Oh, get out of here. All of them have it, and they will be wearing those every Friday. They are allowed to wear those every Friday. I apologize for my dog, everyone. So kinder and 5th grade will also have a class t-shirt because both of those grades are moving on to other grades, graduating, culmination. So we're in the making of 5th grade and kinder. Last day, absolute last day to buy any of the class t-shirts is tomorrow. We have been selling t-shirts since early February. So parents, if you are interested, and I'm sorry I don't have a picture of kinder and 5th right now, but they will be super cute. So if you are interested in buying one of their t-shirts, it is $15, but it does need to come in tomorrow. I am completely okay if you don't have an order form. I just need the student's name, their teacher. I don't need the grade because I know the teacher's grade. What size, so if it's a child size or an adult size, and of course the money. So it needs to be cash. The cash is being given directly to the vendor. So I'm working on those shirts, and it usually takes him a couple of weeks, so they won't get it directly when we come back from spring break, but I'm pushing to get it, to have them all delivered by the end of April. So if you're interested in that, please, by all means, send in so you can get your t-shirt, your class t-shirt.
So just to repeat that, Mrs. Shannon, that's for kinder, 5th and 8th grade. Deadline is tomorrow. So in an envelope, you can put the $15 for the t-shirt. And then for the sweatshirt, it's only for 8th grade for a sweatshirt or the hoodie. But you can put the money in the envelope and then put the child's name, their grade, and their teacher on the outside of the envelope, and you can turn it into, they can turn it into someone at the front office.
Correct. Thank you, Ms. Robinson. And I will be there all day tomorrow. So students do not have a problem coming to me and say, Ms. Shannon, I got something for you. They can give it to their teacher, and the teacher will send it to the front office, but definitely I need it by tomorrow. I'm going to give him that final count number on Saturday. He's going to place that order for, however many t-shirts, hoodies, or whatever we need. So please, if you're interested, definitely tomorrow's the last day. Thank you, Ms. Robinson, for clearing that up. All right, so I have a little bit of news for 8th grade. So 8th grade, hopefully your child came home yesterday with 3 sheets stapled together. It is for their graduation cap and gown photo. We do have a professional photographer coming to the school on Saturday, April 30th. Saturday, April 30th, to take professional graduation cap and gown pictures. So those 3 slips, one was the save the date, the other was the order form, and the other was a small little pink form if you are interested in purchasing your graduation gown. Now, that is not mandatory by all means, and you can borrow one of ours. We have plenty of gowns that have been laundered. I brought them all from the cleaners, so they're nice and clean, pressed, beautiful. Everyone will receive a cap with their tassel and their number on there. So if you're interested in buying, look at that little form and send that in when your child comes back from the break. But the photos are going to be September. I don't know, that September is on my mind. September. That's so fun. Saturday, April 30th. So 8th grade, please go into your class dojo. I did put a big message in the post as far as breaking that down with the class photos. And there's a link that you need to click on to schedule your appointment time for your photos. Okay, a link. So the photos are going to be done from 8:30 to 2 p.m., 8:30 a.m. to 2 o'clock p.m. And you need to click on the link to make an appointment. It's very, very easy. So the link, you click on it, you put a check mark in the box that you want, scroll down to the bottom, push submit. And once you push submit, it'll ask for the information of your child's name and their teacher, and then boom, you're in. All right. Again, any questions, please let me know. Along with that photo day, I would love to have a parent or two volunteer to help me. It is just me there. Mr. Carlos will be at the gate, and we have the photographer in the gym. And we do have a closed campus, but I could check for your vaccination card or a negative testing to have a parent come and help me. We will be wearing masks the entire day, but a little bit of help would be great. So please email me and let me know. All right, moving on. So our staff has been working their tail off. When I say our staff, because, you know, teacher appreciation, but to me, staff appreciation. So we are celebrating staff appreciation the first week of May. And I will be sending something out to parents asking for a donation. I would love to give our staff a beautiful lunch, and I want to reward them with goodies for the entire week. It would be nice to give them lunch all week long, but I don't know, that's some deep pockets. But I would be willing to take whatever donations you have to give for our wonderful staff, so I can give them a little bit of time to have a nice meal, relax, and just have a good time for a couple of hours. We're going to have this big lunch on May 4th. It is going to be at Edward Vincent Park in the picnic area. I plan on decorating and have it nice. I plan on having some pretty good food catered. And I would love, like I said, a little bit of donations from the parents. But again, I wouldn't mind a couple of volunteers to help me out before the staff arrives. Now, once the staff arrives, I really don't need any parents there because they'll all be there by that time. But setting up, decorating, things like that, I would love a little bit of help on that. So if you were available on May 4th, I would love that. And I'm thinking it's going to be, the lunch starts at 2. So if anyone is available anywhere between, I guess, 12 and 2, that would be great. Email me and let me know. All right, so the school is in dire need. I know you've gotten Class Dojos and messages regarding water. We need water. We need water. We need water. Well, we still need water. So I'm going to ask you to give us water if you have water, especially if it's 95 degrees outside. But we need paper. We need Xerox paper. Like yesterday, we need Xerox paper. So I am reaching out to parents to send a couple reams of paper to school. I would like to do a ice cream sundae party for the class that has the most reams of paper that come in. Now, you have to remember, so if it's over at kindergarten, those reams of paper are going to have to go over to kindergarten, and then the other reams of paper for 1st through 8th need to come over to the big school. But I am willing to do a ice cream sundae party. So we could go outside, we can have ice cream, a bunch of different toppings on there, kind of have like a little bit of fun day, because we need paper desperately. So all I'm going to ask is, if you want to buy 1 ream of paper, if you want to buy a case of paper, it's up to you. We will record it and find out how many reams are coming for each of those classes. And all I'm asking is put your child's name and the teacher. That's what I need, name and the teacher on there. So that way we can record them. I'm going to find out in the office who can actually do all of the recordings for me, because as you know, I'm not there every single day, but I would love to have some of that paper coming in. Not only that, although the teachers are not there for the week, we do have some staff that is there for the week. So if you want to drop off some paper, let's say anywhere between Monday through Wednesday from 10 to 2, you can come and drop it off and we'll take that paper. Again, child's name and the teacher must be on that ream of paper. Because the full staff is not there, Mr. Carlos may or may not be there. and the gate may be locked. Well, it probably will be locked. So suggestion, you'll have to go to the front of the school, ring the buzzer. They'll see that you're there, and then they'll ask you to come around to the side gate, and then someone will come in and get that paper. So I'm going to hope that we can get some paper going on. We don't have too much longer. How many weeks, Ms. Robinson?
8 more weeks after spring break.
8 more weeks, parents, 8 more weeks. So we need a lot of paper, and we're doing a lot of testing. So we're doing a lot of Xeroxing. So please, start sending in that paper. All right, I have 2 more things, but these are the big ones. These are the big ones. Okay, so we are excited. We are excited to say that we are going to have a full graduation for kinder, 5th, and 8th. Full graduations. And when I say full graduations, that means a full graduation. We're not going to do a drive-by. We're not going to break up the classes in 3s. We're going to have one big graduation with all the students together. We are working on locations because we're working on getting approved for permits. So I can't give you a location yet. And unfortunately, I can't even give you a date yet, but we are tentatively trying to look at June 8th. And we are considering doing all of our graduations on the same day. So we are thinking kinder in the morning, 5th grade, maybe about noon time. And then we'll have 8th grade in the later part of the afternoon time, 2 or 3 o'clock p.m. or something. We haven't worked all that out yet, but I just wanted to kind of give you a little bit of info that we are planning on having these graduations. And more importantly, because Easter is coming, this is the perfect opportunity and time to get your little ones. So maybe an 8th grader might not want to wear an Easter dress, but your little ones will. So for kinder, they're going to wear their Sunday's best. Little girls in, beautiful little dresses, any kind of color they want. But their Sunday's best. Little guys, suits are wonderful, but if they don't have a suit, we're definitely looking at a long sleeve shirt with a tie and and slack pants. 5th grade, you're a little bit different. 5th grade, all the girls do wear white dresses. We wear white dresses for 5th grade, and the young men wear black suits with a shirt and tie. Black suits with a shirt and tie. So I'm just giving you this info a little bit ahead of time. So that way, if you're out there and you see, these dresses, snag it right away because graduation is right around the corner. As far as for 8th grade, we do want them to dress their best, but remember they are wearing a graduation gown underneath. So, on top. So we don't have to ask for any particular type of dress from them, but of course, no jeans or anything like that. They still have to dress nice, just not fancy dress. So graduations, all 3 grades, and more information to come. The sooner we get the information, we will definitely pass it on to you. So we're working on it. I'm on the phone probably every day with different locations. So we are working on it. The big one, field day. Woohoo! Field day is back. Field day is back. And I'm still working on the permit for Kenneth Hahn. So let me talk about field day because we probably have some brand new parents. So parents, if you have not participated in our field day or you do not know what our field day is, it is a day full of fun. Our school starts at the park and it ends at the park. So you drop off and you pick up at the park. Each of the grades will wear a certain, so our kinder, our 5th and our 8th, they will wear their class t-shirts. And then grades 1st through 4th, 6th and 7th, they will wear a field day shirt. It's going to say WPACS Field Day 2022. And they will be different colors. So that way, if 1st grade has red, running over the hill, I know that's a 1st grader and I'm going to go running after them. So field day is back. But with field day, so those of you that know about field day and have been there for field day, it takes everyone to pull this through. So we need a lot of help on this. So it will be all 600 of our students. It will be all 75 of our staff there. and we would like parents. And we are outside, we will have on our masks, but we are asking parents to come. We do need volunteers. We need volunteers for everything. We need volunteers to help us with students. We need volunteers to help us with parking. We need volunteers to help us with cooking. So years back, we had a lot of dads cooking, a lot of dads. So dads, if you're out there, we need some cooks. We need some cooks, Dad. But guess what? We're not going to turn away the moms either. So we'll take some moms that are cooks too. We need a lot of help. So with that being said, we will have to have a check on your vaccine, your vaccinations, or a negative COVID test, so we can make sure that, because we've been clear for how many weeks? 8 weeks, Ms. Robinson?
Yes.
Well, because we want parents to help us, but we don't want the parent to come and give us the COVID. So we definitely want the help. We need the help. We're asking for help, but we do have to make sure we all stay safe. So with that, field day, again, we're waiting for permits, but they've been put out there. We have 3 different dates that I have put on there. So hopefully we can get one of those dates. And this is going to be the first week of June. So believe me, as soon as we get something locked in, we will let you know, because those of you that are working, and many of you are, you'll need to take that day off. It's a full day. It's a full day. The last thing that I wanted to just touch on very quickly, and this is again for 8th grade, because 8th grade, there are big dogs on campus. In the past, they've done a lot of non-school related events outside of school. And so, and I've been a parent and I participated in those things and kind of organizing them and getting them together. But it's a little difficult sometimes if you don't even know where to start. So if you are interested in trying to do some of these things for your 8th graders, please reach out to me. I have spoken to a couple of 8th grade parents, and thank you for coming forward and asking me a couple questions. But there are some things that you guys can do so your child has a great 8th grade year. I know it's been a difficult one, so you do want to end it with a blast. Magic Mountain has opened back up, so they are giving, or they do have their grad night for middle school students. And so it's just a matter of reaching out to them and getting your count, your number. In the past, sometimes we had buses, and I don't really know if that's all available right now, but they've also done carpools where parents have just carpooled and took a bunch of students and they all carpooled there. So those are some of the things that you can think of. 8th graders have also done bonfires. So they've gone to Dockwaller Beach, which is very close. And someone has to go very early to get that picked. And everyone just kind of brings their own food and they just have a great time. And so that's another thing that they could do. 8th graders have done parties at the park. They have done pool parties, and they've done graduation parties. So there's been several 8th grade classes that have had graduation parties, but unfortunately that has nothing to do with the school. So the school doesn't sponsor it in any kind of way. That's something that you guys will have to do on your own. So again, if you need a little bit of guidance, a little bit of help of where to start, you got my email, hit me up, let me know, and I can definitely help you out. Ms. Robinson, I think I got it all.
Okay, I do have some questions in the chat for you. One particular question about the fundraiser. If they made online orders, are they shipped to the house or are they going to be here tomorrow?
Thank you. Great question. Online orders. If you purchase online orders and they are over $150, so let's say I purchased, one of the people on the list, and I purchased over $150. My items are going to be mailed to me. So if it's anything under $150, it's all going to be included with the student, and the student is going to have it at the school, online orders as well as the written orders.
Okay, perfect. And then again, tomorrow fundraiser pickup is after school.
Yes, ma'am. After school, we will have the folks from the fundraising company there. I'm going to be testing their vaccine stuff, and we're going to have all of the items in the gym. It's very warm, so some of these popcorns or some of these little candies or whatever, we really can't have them sitting too long because they will just melt away. So We will have all the items in the gym. I'm going to have them all broken down into their teachers. So that way, when that student comes up, we hear the name, we know to go over to that teacher, grab that stuff. They're going to come out and they're going to run it out to the car. So yes.
What if they are either in an after-school program, Teach to Reach, or they have someone else pick them up? What do those items stay here at school, or do they have to go with the child?
It does have to go with the child. So if they're in Teach to Reach, those things will be packaged up and given to those in Teach to Reach. Now, if some of the students ordered some items and they're small items, items that are not in big, huge boxes, they're going to be in bags, and the student will able to walk that out with them to the car, their items, if it's in a small bag. Nothing that's going to be too heavy for them. But the small items, we don't need to put in the gym and have them run out to the car if they can carry it.
And then this parent, I'm going to ask that she email you. And maybe you guys can collaborate on some fundraising ideas that don't require collection of items or collection of money. You know, sometimes they have like those online fundraisers that you can do through a link or something like that. So I'm going to request that parent to reach out to you personally, and you guys can work together on that.
Perfect. Thank you. And as a matter of fact, as you mentioned that Ms. Fanice is looking into us trying to do a fundraiser where we can do it like electronically. So, and that way people, because everybody has their Cash App and Venmo and things like that. So we are looking into it. Most likely it will not, occur this year, but maybe for next year, we can try and see how that works out for us. And then it will automatically get deposited right into an account.
Okay. And then just to clarify, can we buy just the cap for the cap and gown? Or is it a set?
So to clarify, you do not have to buy the cap and the gown at all. No. So if a student would like to borrow one of our gowns, they will borrow one of our nice clean pressed gowns, and then we will give them a cap and they get to keep that cap and the tassel on us.
Okay. All right. And graduation pictures for kinder right now, graduation pictures are only for the 8th graders. So that is, kind of their special cap and gown end of their era at Wilder's. So we don't offer the graduation pictures at kinder. Of course, you can always go, get your own done. And then as far as cap and gown, that's only for 8th grade. So the kindergartners do not wear cap and gowns or caps and gowns. And let's see. Again, the flyer was sent home yesterday regarding that. And then for independent study, as far as the independent study t-shirts, we do have some. We have them here labeled with their name on it. So, you can come to the gate, pick those t-shirts or hoodies, whichever one you order, you can pick that up. And then also, if you want to order more, for your family or if you didn't get one and you want one, you can drop that off at the gate tomorrow as well if you are on independent study.
And one more thing, Ms. Robinson, what I didn't mention is I think I did mention, but if parents are going to come and help out at field day and they have a kinder 5th or 8th, they may want to wear their students' class t-shirt. It will look nice. They'll fit in with everyone, at the park, because we will have parents that are from, 1st through 4th and 6th and 7th, and they're also allowed to buy the WPACS Field Day 2022. It looks nice when the parents are also wearing the color of the student. And it's not mandatory at all.
And how early can the parents grab their popcorn order?
Well, the company is coming at 1 o'clock, but we have to set up everything. So it's going to take a while because he said there's 7 pallets full of items. So we have to break it down. But if there's a parent that I know, if they want to email me and tell me that their child is leaving early, or they know that they're coming a little bit earlier, I can definitely take that one out as soon as possible.
Okay. And then do you know how long they're going to be here to deliver items?
So we're going to pretty much wait until about 4 o'clock. We're going to try and wait until most of the kids are all picked up. So they're not going to leave anytime soon.
And again, if they're in Teach to Reach, they'll go with them to Teach to Reach. And then if they get picked up by program, then they'll go with the program.
Correct, yes.
Okay. And then, yes, students can wear shorts. They've been able to wear shorts since April 4th, that's starting this week. So moving forward now through the end of the school year, we know it's getting hot out there. So yes, they are able to wear their shorts as long as they're, not too short, not too tight, make sure, they fit nicely. And yes, for field day, 8th graders will be wearing their class shirts. And then there was a slide that mentioned a spirit activities, not necessarily a spirit week. So Ms. Shannon, do you want to talk about what we, talk about for the 8th grade
Yes.
spirit activities?
Yes, we just haven't finalized anything yet, but we are discussing it. And the 8th graders, they gave a lot of input yesterday, which we really appreciate and we really do like. So we're thinking of for them to give them, not necessarily, as Mrs. Robinson said, a spirit week, but maybe every Friday they can have a fun Friday. So some of the things that some of the 8th graders, some of the suggestions were, they want to wear Crocs. I mean, Crocs are very popular right now, so they're calling it What a Croc Day. Kind of fun, but they would have to wear socks with the Crocs. They want to do like a twin day, a trio day where they dress in threes or dress in twos, twins. They want to do a sports game against the staff. So they want to play the staff. I told them they want me to play because I'm the worst sports person ever. So they want to do that. So they have some great suggestions. A few of them we feel that we still can't quite do. There was one that wanted a movie night. So we're probably not going to do a movie night. But we would definitely like to do some things for the 8th grade, just because, to make things a little bit better for them for their school year. I also thought of maybe we could have like a fun day outside if they had, I don't necessarily say a taco cart, but just something where they could have something fun. But that's all up in the air. So we're thinking about it. We're trying to finalize some things. And so when we do come back from spring break, hopefully that first Friday, they'll be able to do something fun. So we're working on it. And parents, if you have any suggestions, I'm open to those too. Along with, and I wanted to ask you parents, if you have any connections to any locations, parks or rec rooms or auditoriums or things like that. It's really been difficult trying to finalize a location for our graduations. And I think everyone is thinking the same thing. They're now finally trying to come back to a norm. And so they've changed a lot of procedures. And so we're having a little bit of a difficulty, but we're going to find something. But if you have any connections, please reach out to Mrs. Robinson and let her know. So that way we can get that going.
Absolutely. So just a few more questions and then we'll wrap this evening up. Depending on where the graduation is located this year will depend on the number of visitors. So I had someone ask about visitors for graduation. We're trying to find a space. And if, like, Ms. Shannon said, if you know of a space that is large enough to, invite several family members, then, we'll look into that, but we don't have a number right now or solidified a location. And so once we have that information, we'll let you know. And yes, this recording will be available in the next few days. We're going to add some more information to the slides, for some of the parents that weren't able to come tonight. So just to make things a little clear. And when will the 5th graders receive their t-shirts?
So the 5th graders, I have extended their deadline twice. So because I have extended it twice, and it's really due because we really would like every single student to purchase a t-shirt. And we clearly understand financially sometimes some aren't able to, and we will take care of it. So I have extended it till tomorrow. So tomorrow is the last day. As I mentioned, it takes the vendor at least about 2 weeks to kind of get the image together. I have to approve it, and then he starts printing. So I'm looking at, for sure, by the end of April, they should have their shirts.
Mm-hmm. And then one last thing before we go, June 6th is transition day. And so for some of our new parents, transition day is when your current fourth grader will spend the day in the fifth grade, or your current fifth grader will go to sixth grade. So they can kind of, get a bird's eye view of what will happen or what to expect for the next school year. For our eighth graders, we are planning some activities for that day. And so once we have that solidified, we can get that information out to you. Like we said, we're, getting their input and planning some things that they want to do. So that will be one of those days where, we'll engage in the activities that they would like. All right, and I believe that's it. So if you have any questions that we haven't answered, please email us. You have Ms. Shannon's email on the screen. My emails are robinson@wpacs.org. Ms. Red is ired, REDD @wpacs.org. And again, the Popcornopolis popcorn items and prizes will be delivered tomorrow afternoon. So make sure you make arrangements, for that. So if you ordered a lot, make arrangements to have that picked up. Yes.
And Ms. Robinson, those that ordered at Kinder, those items will be at Kinder. So they're not going to bring them over to the big school. I don't know if I mentioned that, but it's going to be at Kinder.
All right. Sounds wonderful. So if you would like to volunteer, then reach out to Mrs. Shannon. And again, if you have any additional questions or comments, please email us. We're, a phone call away. We'll try to get back to you, within 24 to 48 hours or as soon as possible. So with that being said, everyone have a great evening and have a great night. Thank you.